Hi everyone, this video I'm posting on my spirituality channel, but a similar topic related video I posted on my other channel because it had some professional and personal life related topic involved in it. But I will link that post also with this one because all of these are actually interconnected topics. And the reason why I'm making this video is because people need a mass realization about how much our society is going wrong, in how much people hold on to misaligned relationships or misaligned friendships and not realizing that the misaligned relationships and friendships they hold gratitude for leads to false light in their life, leads to shadow and darkness filled experiences which would have been preventable if you had understood the value of the in the initial stages only when you are in a misaligned partnership or friendship with someone. And I had to learn this lesson in the hard way, and I do not want people who are like me to learn this lesson in the hard way, because the hardest way is you will end up being betrayed by the people you trust. You will end up being thrown in life situations which are very dangerous for a woman to be in, and you will not find the right help in your life because of the dangerous situation you have been pushed towards. Because people, if you are with people who are less intuitively mature or less wise or less safe or less mentally mature than you, all these people, if you trust them more than your own intuition, own instincts, own body signaling systems giving you a warning that something is wrong, then you end up going deeper and deeper into a pit of hell that you don't realize you're entering, because you trusted some people's instincts or maturity or understanding of danger or um, uh, other things related to life, where they were very much highly misguided than your own body telling you something, your own soul telling you something, but you were not waking up to it. And you end up then becoming very not only get caught in a trap where which was would have been avoidable, of course, if you had good friends, good family, good balanced people in your life. But when you don't have balancing people in your life, you end up getting used by people who will pretend to balance you but will not be actually balancing you. So I saw this video of this girl, and I don't know whether I should link her in my reference video like I sometimes do. And I have posted in her videos that she should avoid these boys she's hanging out with, because I really think that the boy she's calling her good best friends, and one of them she might even be dating, looking like how they were taking pictures with each other in a Diwali function or event. They were just hanging around as friends, possibly. I don't know whether he's a boyfriend or whatever it is, but all these boys have dirt in their mind. All these boys want to hang out with her because they likely want to get in her pants, or just be friends with a girl to get tips from a girl about how to flirt with other men, other women, or something like that. Or there could be multiple other reasons why they are hanging out with her, but none of them are actually hanging out with her because they have her best interests in heart. And true friendship is what? True friendship, or even if you are in a dating one of the boys and other two are there his friends, it means true friendship means that you understand deeply what are each other's needs, right? And while she is understanding what are these boys needs or intuitively trying to balance out the group, one girl can't first of all balance out a group with three other boys, especially because all these four people, the girl included, they all have more masculine energy. And the reason why she is gravitated towards friendship with these boys is because her having masculine energy, more of a masculine energy, means that she's not maybe as girly like other girls, so she doesn't find it comfortable hanging out with other women, and that's why by default state she started hanging out with boys instead. And there is a maybe superficial level where they all have some similar sense of humor or something which causes them to stay together with each other. But even though they have a particular sense of humor that causes them to stay together with each other, or some superficial hobbies that causes them to think they are a good match for each other, but like in my video about mismatched relationships, this is about mismatched friendships. Because while superficially maybe there's one or two hobbies you're good at where you see a match with each other, these the friendship with these boys should have been a very superficial friendship of maybe once a year you meet up with them or something like that. But instead she has made them her soul, or her lifeline, and because of which she is holding gratitude and posting videos about how grateful she is to hang out with them. She also understands these boys a little bit more deeply, so if you look at her profile also in her community page and all, she's written all these good things about each of them, because she does see the light inside these boys. But the problem is, while she is seeing the light inside them and seeing the good inside them, there's a lot of bad inside them that needs to change, which can't change if she stays in a long-term friendship with any of them, or even starts dating any of them, because all of them are at an immature level in life. They also likely have parents who do not care about educating the boys about value systems related to how to treat women the right way, how it's not right to flirt with women just to get into their pants, or pretend that the woman is your life and soul. Because in her Diwali video, one of them is literally saying that I love you, I like you, blah blah blah, but you can tell easily that that boy doesn't really, like, he's saying all these flowery words like you're my Jaan, you're this, you're that, and you're the reason for my existence, some things like that. He's saying very flowery things. But while he's saying all these flowery things, and people can perceive that if a boy says these things, that boy really must love you, the reality is a boy saying these things doesn't mean that they love you. It just means they're saying these things to get in your pants, or saying these things to impress you. But realistically speaking, they don't really care that much about you. And I have met these boys, I've dated these boys, I've been friends with such boys who on the outside it seems like they have my back, but the reality is they never had my back, or the level of what I felt they had my back about was very superficial compared to what was happening with them. So eventually I ended up being in trouble in many different places where I didn't even realize I was in trouble. And why? Like me and like that girl, we are both the kind of women being a little bit more masculine energy oriented. While we feel comfortable hanging out with boys and do not see the danger in hanging out with boys because of the masculine energy match that might be happening with them, the reality is these people that I was hanging out with and this girl is hanging out with, some of these people have very negative intentions towards women. They do not consider women at the same equal level of intellectual capacity. Some of the men I dated or was friends with didn't consider me to have the same intellectual capacity as them, which is fine. I don't care if I am intellectually less smart than you, but being intellectually less smart doesn't mean that you do not have some value in life. So that value that I did have, that I could bring in their life, wouldn't be brought in our life if someone is constantly looking down on me for the intellectual capacity I hold that is lesser than their intellectual capacity. right? So that was one problem zone with some of them. With some of them it is not the intellectual capacity, some of them it could be the monetary capacity, for some of them it could be the social or socio-economic capacity that they hold in life. For some of them it could just be that they are more popular than me, for some of them. So and there is these set of men who are more in some aspects in what they do in their life, and as a result they have a pride about what they hold and possess in them. And because they hold a pride, and having pride about what you are blessed with is not a problem. It becomes a problem when that pride becomes a bone of contention or a egoic issue when you are interacting with each other, and when you fail to see that as a result of what advantages you have, you are failing to recognize the advantages another person may also have, and failing to merge the lives together with them as a friend or as a partner. So because of which I was constantly in misaligned relationships, and not only in misaligned relationships, I was constantly thrown in the deep end of an ocean without knowing how to swim. Because obviously, if you are traveling with people who are all expert swimmers or moderate level swimmers, and you do not know how to swim, now these boys thinking that they know how to swim, if they look down upon you, you don't know how to swim, that is fine. But when you are really not able to swim, if none of them who know how to swim and are knowing that you don't know how to swim don't come to rescue you, or they wait to see whether you will develop your swimming capacity and delay rescuing you, or they are deliberately pushing you only to drown because they do not like you actually at the deeper level, then are they really any of them your friends? No, none of them are your friends who, if they don't understand when you are in trouble, how to help you, even though they have been given the God gift to help you, right? That is the reason why you a non-swimmer is traveling with a swimmer, so that the swimmer can either teach the non-swimmer how to swim, or the swimmer can help the non-swimmer when the non-swimmer doesn't know how to swim. Or if they don't know how to bring help to you, they at least allocate someone to help you swim better if you are drowning, or if when you are in the learning stages of swimming, right? So they allocate a good teacher to you. But if people don't truly care about you, none of these things will happen. And while you can hold gratitude, like, oh, I'm so grateful that I have this friend who has this beautiful skill, that gratitude towards your friend will not help you at all in life, right? The practicality of life is, I can hold gratitude for 10 different qualities that 10 different people who are my friends or family have in them. But my holding gratitude is that gratitude that I have could be because I appreciate them for that minor level help they are providing, or it could be gratitude for I at least have these people. I'm not completely lonely. So my gratitude could be that. My gratitude could be that I appreciate you because I am an appreciative personality. I appreciate you for what you have. But where is the opposite reverse gratitude? Where is the gratitude where in this girl's case and in my case, I literally would ask this of the people in my life, and they used to consider that as a very selfish thing, that why are you asking, like it's not a eye for an eye like world, which is absolutely true, that you are not meant to be in a world where I give you $1 and you give me back $1, or I've given you one laptop, you give me one laptop back. It is not like that. But if I am appreciating you for what you have, but if I am constantly with people who do not appreciate or value me for what I hold as I may not know swimming, but I may know how to allocate resources to a person who doesn't know swimming. I may know something else which will prevent me from even going towards a place where danger related to swimming might be there. So I will refuse to go there, or I will warn people who don't know swimming. I understand which of the people don't know swimming and they shouldn't go in a place, or who are beginner level swimmers. So I will know whether if high tide is coming, they shouldn't go there, or I might know which area which is the deep end of the pool, so they shouldn't plunge into the deep end of the pool. So this girl is actually in a pool with these boys, a pool of friendship with these boys, where she is thinking she has good friendships around her, or she is appreciative of them in her life. But the reality of the friendship is they are actually not grateful for having her in their life. All they are grateful for is, oh, they have a chick in their group. That is all they are grateful for. Very bare minimum. If this girl was replaced one day by another girl, another hotter girl, less hotter girl, doesn't matter, but whichever girl gets replaced by this girl, they would not care if this girl goes away, because they don't value her for what she brings in their life. Like if another girl comes, and if this girl is dating boy A, and there's a boy B and C, both of whom also want to sleep with her, none of them actually want to marry her or date her long term. They all want to just sleep with her. Now if instead of girl B, a girl, let's say her name is M, instead of M, now if M goes away from their life, and instead of M some other girl comes, N comes, and N is ready to sleep with all of them, they will be happy, because that's all they want from a girl. Or if N comes and N has a lot of money, and these guys just want to, they are spoiled brats, so they just want to spend money. So if N is a girl who's ready to spend money on them, again they will be happy. So they would not care if it is N girl, M girl, X girl, Y girl, whichever girl is hanging out with them. All they care about is, if some of them are greedy about money, they will care about greed related to money. If some of them are wanting to sleep with a girl, they will care about that. If some of them want to just simply flirt around with a girl and get all the digs from a girl, like a girl will tell you, right? A girl will tell you that this boy is like, this girl is like that girl is like that. So if or a girl may have some intuitive understanding about certain relationship things, so they will use that girl to get into pants of other girls. These are all the things, dirty thoughts these boys have in their mind. Now this girl is actually, in the videos, I don't she's looking very unhappy to me. She's looking sad. Her eyes are showing that she's sad. When she was in the car with them going for a Diwali shopping with them, at that time also she had to literally, like, all these boys are hyper energetic, because all they have is garbage in their mind right now. So because they have garbage in their mind, she's trying to calm down the energy. Like, they have, between them, all four of them have very low feminine energy. So because feminine energy is low in them, and the girl has a little bit higher feminine energy than these three boys, so she's trying to calm down the equation with them, but she can't. Like, she has to literally sush them in the video, and she's speaking in a very hyper manner around them. Why she's speaking in the hyper manner? Because her energy body is also realizing the danger of how dangerous it is during Diwali time to hang out with boys who are like this hyperactive. And these boys being hyperactive now, one day, if her parents aren't careful, if her other friendship circle isn't careful, if her family isn't careful, if they don't, like, understand the danger she's in, if she herself doesn't understand the danger she's in when she's hanging out with these boys, is there going to be a surprising day if something bad happens to her, that one of these guys molests her? Or if you've seen this movie Satya Prem Ki Katha, at Satya Prem Ki Katha, they show the scenario where a girl was dating a boy, and because she goes in with the boy, because she was dating with him, when he slept with her, people are also judging her that you were dating him, so why are you complaining about it, that you were dating him? So if he raped you, people are not ready to consider that as a rape because you were dating someone. But that is the problem zone, that people have not learned respect. They have not learned that in a relationship, even if you're married, or even if you are in a long-term relationship with someone for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, rape is rape. That rape can happen anytime in a relationship if consensual sex was not present. And sex is a very delicate topic. People don't understand how much respect, how much care, how much love actually should be present between two humans when they are having sex with each other. Sex becomes a sin when you do not have that respect for each other, when you are not comfortable with each other while engaging in that act, when there is some mismatch between you and another person, which biologically only makes it a very uncomfortable experience with someone. So all these things are the reason why sex becomes a sin, and which People, because they are misaligned with their soul purpose, misaligned with understanding the purpose of sex in life and where sex shouldn't be constantly ruling you, is the reason why people are so waylaid in life. And this is true both of men and of women. I have seen videos of also those men who are married to women who actually don't love them in a way they deserve to be loved. But while those men are married to these women who don't deserve to be in their life because they don't love the men in a balanced way that they deserve to be loved, while the man is constantly giving in that relationship, the woman is just pretending to give in a relationship. So both kinds of imbalanced relationships exist, where good women, now here she's either in a relationship with one of these boys or she's in a friendship only with all of them, but she's more interested, maybe sexually attracted to one of them. That's why maybe in the video she was closer to that boy while clicking the pictures. Whatever it is, you can feel safe with anyone, but that can end up being a false sense of safety when that person is not truly safe for you. If I feel safe for towards a guy, maybe it is a past life karma I had with them because of which I feel safe, or maybe I feel attracted to someone, that's why I'm feeling safe, or there's something likable about them, that's why I'm feeling safe with them. But while I'm feeling safe with someone, if that person has all kinds of garbage thoughts about sleeping with me, or he's watching a lot of porn that has given him a garbage impression about what true sex means with a woman, all these things, or he watches all these sitcoms where demeaning things about women are said in those sitcoms, where laughter track is there to pretend as if it's a joke, but it's not a joke. And people who are not developed in the right way in their brains about what is a good social relationship, what is a good balanced relationship, whose own parents never had good quality relationships, who were maybe raised by who were orphans, and they were raised by people who don't understand them intuitively. All of these leads to gaps in understanding of what is safe sex, what is healthy sex, what is balanced sex, what is not just sex, what is a balanced relationship equation to hold with simply a person who is a friend, for whom when the woman is saying she's just simply friends with you, you're not able to understand that she's truly just simply friends with you. She doesn't want to sleep with you, she's not looking at you from that angle. Or even if someone might consider you momentarily with a sexual attraction related angle, but in their mind or in their soul, if they have that strong conviction that they don't want to sleep with you, how much ever they feel attracted to you, is there a reason why this is necessary in life? Can we sleep with all men? Like would it, if I get attracted to 10 men, should I sleep with all 10 men? No, right? So how much ever I may be attracted towards people, or other people are attracted towards us, there could be past life karma with them because of which we could be attracted with someone. There could be present life, some sexuality related misgivings that could cause this attraction. There could be multiple reasons why we are feeling attracted towards someone. But feeling attracted towards someone or admiring someone for what they hold is not equal to wanting to sleep with them, wanting to be in their life with them as anything more than a friend. And while she is going on in her mind possibly thinking these are all just her friends, and if they are going on in their mind thinking they want to just get in her pants or in the pants of other women, and that's why they want to have a woman in their group, which is an imbalanced relationship, misaligned friendship. And if she goes around with such boys all the time, and her parents don't check her, her family doesn't check her, her friends don't check her, she herself is not able to, even though her body, like when she's speaking with these boys, she was like hyper when speaking with them because the danger inside of her is increasing. She is intuitively picking up something that they are not speaking verbally. They are all being very nice, but internally, if this Hindi saying dil mein agar khot hai, so that khot if you have in your mind or in your intention towards someone, even if you're not speaking it verbally and you are keeping quiet about it, but some toxic thoughts are going on in the brains about someone, you will eventually understand that about them, and intuitively you can pick up about them. Your people do not universe doesn't want a woman to go and be in unsafe relationships with anyone. And be it a woman, be it a man, universe doesn't want us to be in unsafe relationships with anyone, in toxic relationships with anyone, in abusive relationships with anyone, in abusive friendships with anyone, in friendships where friends with benefits like things starts occurring with anyone. But we are not ready for it. We are it can happen that, you know, she been friends with them, she decides to sleep with one of them, and decide while she is thinking that while she's sleeping with the boy that she will get married to the boy. In the boy's mind something else is going on. He just wants to sleep with her, explore a sexual relationship with her, but he is not at all interested in marrying her because her personality or family or whatever is not a match at all for him. So if all these kind of circumstances are playing around in a dynamics with someone, it's all basically leading people to misaligned relationships. And there could be one set of friendship group where something like this can manifest. There's another set of friendship group where the girl be feeling safe, like, you know, maybe she knew them, maybe they were very innocent kids when they were in 5 years old. So as a 5-year-old, 10-year-old, they were very good innocent friendships that you cultivated with them. But as soon as they entered their teen years, when they in the 4-5 years of their teen years journey, if they in their teenage started consuming a lot of porn and all the negative media associated with women, now in your 20s when you're hanging out with them, that same level of innocence is not there in that same boy who was as a 10-year-old a very innocent boy. So, and that part where the boy is not anymore as innocent as he used to be when he was younger, if you are still viewing them as the young version of them, the girl will not be able to see that these boys have transitioned into something else. And while she's not perceiving it, her subconscious is perceiving it, because of which her videos show the sadness in her eyes, the smile doesn't reach deeply in her soul when she's speaking with them or conversing with them. While she's posting all these social media posts about gratitude for them, there is no reverse gratitude. She's posting all these on her social media. None of her friends have replied back to her posts. None of her friends have even in the videos actually truly been appreciative of. You can tell when someone is truly appreciative of your company and when someone is just falsely faking it. I can tell. So they were all falsely faking her presence in their life. In fact, if she wasn't there in their life, all three would likely go and booze somewhere or do some drunken driving somewhere, do some adrenaline chasing activity, which if she is a sane balanced kid, she wouldn't want to also even engage in. And while she in their presence is preventing them from engaging in those activities, someday if she gets too much into a pit of hell with them, they will also get her drunk and get her involved in a drunken driving, and she will face the consequences, worse consequences related to that. Or they might rape her, or they might drug her and then, you know, use date rape drugs on her, so she wouldn't even understand that she has been raped by them. But if she has been date raped by them in their company, and she may not remember that rape because she was drugged, will her energy still hold that energy of having been abused by someone? Or if she starts dating one of the boys and the boy has all these garbage thoughts, but in the initial stages of dating, while he has watched a lot of garbage and his energy is entrenched with that garbage energy related to toxic sex, initially maybe out of politeness he is following whatever she says. Like if she has set a sexual boundary, he's okay with the sexual boundary, but in his mind he is not okay with that sexual boundary. Let's say now being her friend, she gets married also to him. Are they going to have good sex after marriage? No, because if he has that garbage in his mind and doesn't understand clearly what is good sex, bad sex, doesn't understand what is respect for a woman, what is not disrespectful to the woman, is in denial about what is respectful, what is disrespectful, is unwilling to change their patterns also related to all this consumption that they are doing, eventually will their marriage be a horrible marriage filled with rape like incidences in their marriage. So these things do women need to be careful about and understand more deeply before marriage, and do also parents of boys need to understand this more deeply so that they can teach their boys to be better humans. If that is your role, if you are a parent, you have to teach that to your boys. If you are a friend, you have to teach that to your friends. And in these group of boys, if only one woman is present among three boys, she is not going to be able to teach them the right things. These boys need education from multi-level women in their family, women in their school life, women in their friendship circle, women in their social circle, women in their work life. Everywhere women have to teach them the right values, or they or I don't know, because there are some boys I know, they are so incorrigible. How much, if they've been given some extra power related to social power or monetary power, some of those men are very difficult to be taught. And those men, you have to eventually just leave God to teach them a life lesson, because you cannot teach such people life lessons if they are not ready to learn where they are going wrong, if they are not understanding the value of a sister or a mother or a grandmother or a colleague when they are warning them that the path they are traversing, someone could be warning them directly, someone could be warning them indirectly, someone could be trying to redirect them from a path they are taking that is toxic for them to take, not just because they will potentially be a toxic partner to someone, but also because if they traverse that path, they're going towards a path of hell that will be very difficult to get back from. So all these things are happening in our modern society globally, where women get stuck with men like this. And the false light is, if I pretend that I have good friendship with people who do not have my best interest at heart, how much ever I have gratitude for them, the reality is, if I continue on a life journey with them as a friend or as a partner or as both, I will end up not having a good life at all. This girl's light is getting away. Like, she believes in magic and all these things she has written, and she seems like a very nice girl, but her niceness is going to be slowly taken away, because the company you're keeping only slowly drains you of your good energy, drains you of your good intentions. How much ever she will try to balance them, if they are not counterbalancing her in a way she needs to be balanced by men, she will also start holding very toxic perceptions also of men eventually in life, if she continues her life journey with these friends in her company, or getting married to one of them, or if she marries some boy who is very similar to these three boys, she's going to end up attracting more and more toxic relationships in her life path journey, because of her failure to understand what is good relationship balance, and where gratitude has a place and where opposite of gratitude should also exist. Like, your gratitude should be that you had a challenging experience with a group of boys who brought you sadness, who gave you grief, who do not have your back, who do not love you for who you are, who do not accept you for who you are, who do not value you for who you are. I've gone through all of these with my family, with my friends, with the people I dated, with the people I worked with, and in all of these negative experiences, what I was learning was how to have self-worth, where to develop my self-worth. Like, if you are more intelligent than me, doesn't mean that I have no value in life. Similarly, if I also now meet someone who has less intelligence than me, does that mean they do not have value in life? No, they also have some equal value. And the value comes from I appreciating you for what you hold, and you appreciating me likewise for what I hold. If that mutual appreciation is not there, mutual valuing is not there, some balanced valuing is not there, and it's not a mutual admiration society that I give you 10 praises, you give me 10 praises. No, it's not like that. But if I respect you that this is the core value systems you hold, these are the core skills you have, and I appreciate you for what you're bringing in my life, but you also have to equally appreciate what I'm bringing in your life. Like, let's say I am more intelligent than you, or I have a little bit more money than you, and because of which I'm hiring you to do a work for me. Now the place where the appreciation has to happen is, I am giving you a job, so you should have a gratitude that I have given you a job. But secondly, after I have given you a job, if you are doing a job in a worse way than what the way the job could be done, and you have met someone who maybe doesn't pay you, like let's say there are 10 clients, and of the 10 clients, if one person gives you like lakhs of money for a lot of, and you are like, let's say, a home decorator, and one person gives you lakhs of money for decorating their homes because they have a large home. Another person doesn't give you lakhs of money, like while you get 10 lakh from one from renovating a big home, another person only has a 1 bedroom apartment, and they are not going to give you 10 lakh, they might be only giving you 1 lakh for decorating their home. But you can learn some good skills from both the 1 lakh person paying you money and 10 lakh person paying you money, and have gratitude for both experiences. From the 10 lakh person, you can get the gratitude of having more money from them and them being rich and blessed. But from the 1 lakh person, what are you supposed to get? If you are in the beginning stages of a career, the small 1 lakh projects are only going to give you the capacity to develop the skill set for you to do a 10 lakh work. So if you don't hold gratitude for those who are giving you smaller money, will you ever learn how to become better? That is one thing. Second thing is, if even after you are getting a lot of now you've become expert in some work, and now you're getting a lot of expensive projects from multiple people. But again, even if you're getting expensive projects from multiple people, and you're getting inexpensive products from projects from certain groups of people, is there a life lesson that you could learn? Is it a life lesson where if someone doesn't have money but they have wisdom about how to do your job in a better way, and if they are asking you to change some of your job working conditions in a way that will be more aligned for you, healthy for you, or supportive for you, is there a value they will bring, irrespective of whether they give you the same money as the other person or gave you lesser money than the other person? If you get the wisdom from them, that wisdom also has some value. But when will that wisdom be applicable to you? Only when you're willing to listen, willing to understand that this person is not just because they're criticizing me doesn't mean that they do not hold value. Their criticism has the value. But people in our country have stopped valuing criticism, stopped understanding the value of criticism, stopped understanding that when something is going misaligned, you need the criticism to align you back. Like the boys, if they are raised by parents who show them, whose version of unconditional love for their children is to never check them for any bad habits they have you truly shown unconditional love, or have you only shown a imbalanced version of unconditional love, where you are unwilling to check your kids when they are younger to go into a life path journey which will help them align themselves better into better upstanding citizens of life? Whether they will develop into that, that is their call. But your job is to do your best to at least inculcate the right values in your kids. And can you just only superficially inculcate that value? If you have seen Desperate Housewives, in Desperate Houses, there it was a girl child that Juanita was being taught by Gabby about how to behave better in school and not be a spoiled child. But the thing is, Gabby herself is a very spoiled woman. So unless Gabby also changes some of her spoiled tendencies, how much ever she tries to teach her daughter about spoiled tendencies that her daughter is inculcating in her life, the changes won't happen in her daughter's life if she doesn't see the right shift in her parent also. So it is like that your behaviors, if you want your child to be more respectful to you, have you also got to be more respectful. Same way, if you want your friends to value you while you are valuing them, if they never value you, is that an imbalance created in a friendship? So while you can praise your friends 100 times, if your friends are never valuing you for your time, your presence, or true value of you, not the false value, like these boys are falsely valuing her about something, and the fact that they're falsely valuing her can be easily understood when if she goes away from their life and some other girl comes, they will continue doing their same patterns. Nothing is changing with them. So for them, all girls have become a rotating circle of replaceable women. So in those men's cases, when everyone has become a rotating circle of replaceable people, then you do not truly appreciate and value someone for who they are, and there is a false value created, there's a false light in the relationship. So your and that's why and in the false light only the lightness of being is, that's why not there. If these were true genuine friendships, she wouldn't have these sadness in her eyes, she wouldn't be feeling hyper in their presence, or she wouldn't be feeling this uh, need for balance that is awakening in her soul, but she doesn't yet realize it is how much of an imbalanced relationship she's in. What this girl needs is, and also she doesn't understand this, the longer she stays with men like these, what will happen with her is all the love that she's pouring into them, they will take it very easily from her, but they will not first of all give back the equitable love to her, equitable appreciation or friendship consideration towards her. One thing is that imbalance will be continuing in these relationships. Secondly, all the time that she spent with these men, if the 10 years or 20 years or even further in her life, she continues for decades being friends with these men, all the light energy that she had, that potential she had to do some good in the world, everything will be lost, because while she was devoting her time and energy and attention and love and care or consideration towards these boys, that same love, if she had, instead of these boys, after if she had left them or decided that while these friendships are valuable to her, she's not meant to be in a long term life journey with them, they're only meant to enter her life maybe once in a few years time or something like that in the future, like once in a few years when you have friendship reunions with your schoolmates, something like that is what might be meant to develop in her life. But if she doesn't let go of that attachment to these friendships, what will happen is other friendships where if she left them, she could have had the potential to finding a group of mixed gender friends with whom maybe she could have a better life compatibility, that potential can't arise. Or she could have had a potential to dating someone who will value her truly for who she is in a balanced and equitable way. That balanced and equitable partnership potential she will never have if she continues to like think that one of these people is worth dating. Or the value and potential to develop better family relationships might not arise for her, which could have arisen if she had forgotten these friends for a while and focused more on her parents or siblings or building a relationship with her cousins. Things like that will not manifest because she's giving, where is her attention going? Wherever her attention is going, that's where her energy is going. Wherever her energy and attention is going, if devalued, um, there's no recovery of that devaluing. That there is a recovery only when you eventually learn the life lesson of why they came in your life. They might have come in her life to show her own self-worth and self-value and increase her self-esteem eventually in life, but that self-esteem, self-worth, self-valuing, she will not realize the potential of unless she completely awakens to the toxicity of the relationship with them and decides to leave the toxic dynamics with them. It is for, and if she doesn't leave it, these guys will continue to take her also for granted, and other women they meet also continuously will keep taking for granted. Because is she the only one they are misusing like this? No, they are likely misusing their own mothers, they are likely misusing the relationship they have with their fathers, with their siblings, with their cousins. They're not going to be fair. If they are this spoiled, they will not be fair at multiple levels with multiple levels of social relationships in their life. Because a balanced individual can bring balance when they have multiple balanced relationships in their life, or they understand the value of what brings balance in a relationship. Just unconditional spoilt love doesn't bring balance in a relationship. It has to be an equal balance of sweetness and love, as well as other flavors of life have also got to be present in all your relationships in order to form a balanced individual in you, right? But if you are only being spoiled by your parents and the parents give you unlimited access to internet, unlimited access to whatever you wish to do, and when you are doing whatever you wish to do, at that time you're watching porn constantly, you're watching all kinds of degrading serials. If your family tells you do not watch this, but if out of 10 members of the family one is telling do not do this, this is wrong, you're not listening to them, and thinking that they are my enemy. Are you having an imbalanced relationship thought process, or are you having a balancing thought process in life? If you do not value the person who is got the courage to correct you, even if 10 people are not correcting you, and redirecting you towards a better way of living. So if one friend is trying to redirect you, if one family is trying to guide you that this is a wrongful behavior, if instead of just constantly feeding into your ego, that leads to more and more spoiled human beings to be created, more and more imbalanced humans to be created on earth. And this can happen to a boy also, this can happen to a girl also. I saw another video where the girl is constantly seeking, give me money, give me this, give me that, like she's always like give. I do not see her pour into her relationship anything quality in that relationship in those videos. The guy has the potential to the guy is also not potentially giving also very deeply into the relationship. Why? Because too superficial, and one person is possibly narcissistic, another person is possibly self-involved. So a narcissistic and self-involved person can continue in a long-term relationship being clueless that how bad their relationship is. But to a outsider, if you are a wise person, from their imbalance also you can learn something to see where the relationship is going wrong. It is up to them whether they will realize it and rectify and change the dynamics between them. That is up to them. But if they don't realize it, or if only one person realizes that they are in this relationship with where their partner is constantly taking from them, they are also possibly constantly taking from their partner too. But let's say one partner, if you are with if one person is narcissistic, one person is self-involved, the self-involved person might be taking like a lot more, 30-40% of the time in the relationship, whereas the narcissistic person will be taking everything, not 70% of the time in the relationship, and they will be constantly taking, they will not be giving. If you're narcissistic, you do not give in only anything valuable to the relationship. If you are self-involved, you will occasionally give in to your partner, but because you're self-involved, you're like, when you're self-involved, what happens? You will not consider your partner in your life decisions. You may go to work trips without consulting with your partner. When you're narcissistic, you're constantly doing it. Whereas when you're self-involved, sometimes you will consider them, sometimes you will not consider them. Or when you're immature at that time also, this imbalance can happen. And most of us are immature about many relationship paradigms currently on earth, because we've not woken up to the true potential of what good quality relationships can bring in our life. But the people who have indeed woken up to it, if you don't learn the life lesson from them, and instead, like this girl's friends that I saw, if they in front of them a good quality couple will show up someday, they will make fun of those people, because there is an ego inside of them that will reject the good potential quality relationship that is showing up in front of them. But when they continue rejecting that, if the girl is awakening to what is good quality relationship, that's why she's sad. Subconsciously she has awoken to it, but consciously, if she doesn't after awakening that she's actually sad in these relationships, and she doesn't start distancing herself from these boys, if she doesn't go through a narrow journey of a few years where maybe she will be friendless, maybe she will not have good quality friendships for a while, but if she doesn't go through that journey of that darkness where it is very hard to break old friendships, or stay away from people whom you really like. But sometimes, in order to create more better meaningful relationships in the future, either with them only, because if she stays distant from them, and if any of them truly actually value her presence in her life, they will reconnect back with her. But if they are not able to and reconnect back and trying to balance the relationship in a right way, but if they don't reconnect, or while after reconnecting they do not balance the relationship in a way it needs to be balanced, that darkness phase she has to go through to realize that her soul journey with these people might have ended temporarily, and that darkness phase is also needed for her to, in her darkness, the germination of what is good quality relationship for her will start happening for her, which is what happened to me. And in that germination, then you will slowly, if you understand what is good quality relationship that should manifest for you, slowly you will get taken to that path where right quality, balance, nurturing, loving relationship potential will at least emerge for you. Whether you, after those relationship potentials emerging for you in your future, whether you will truly have a balancing relationship with those potential new friendships and new relationships, is totally dependent again on the dynamics between the two people involved in the new set of friendships, new set of relationships. And which is a scary process. The more we age, it becomes more scarier. When we are younger, it's easier to make friendships, but while it is difficult to make deep quality friendships in older age, it is not impossible, and it is also very necessary for us to have some good level of quality relationships in our life, so that we don't stay depressed, so that we don't stay lonely, so that our life doesn't become purposeless. And in all these germination stages, darkness stages, false light stages, if you reconnect back with God, reconnect with your own soul, and self-reflect on which life path are you traversing with the people you are traversing a certain life path with, that helps us in bringing more clarity about our life direction, our soul purpose, our higher purpose of existence with those who bring challenges in our life, as well as existence with those who are meant to bring balance in our life. And she doesn't have balance with these boys, that's why she needs to stay away with from them. And other girls also need to learn from her or my experiences, because otherwise you may become the next Nirbhaya who trusted your friend, or next Abhaya who trusted your colleagues that good things will happen for you, when those people had lesser intuition, lesser understanding of certain situations, lesser degree of understanding of safety related to women's issues, all of which led to both these women's deaths. And if you don't die, then also it's not as if there are many women unlike Nirbhaya and Abhaya who have been raped, who have been assaulted, who have been misused and abused by the men or other people in their life. There are men and women both have experienced this in this world, because of the fact that they didn't trust their own instincts, and also sometimes because of the fact that they sometimes trusted some people a little bit too much than what they should have trusted those other people. I hope this made sense. It's kind of like Draupadi who had been married to 5 men. So socially, if you've been married to someone, you expect them to protect you, right? But none of those men who she was married to was able to protect her from the Vastraharan, because the very people who were meant to protect her ended up gambling her away, right? So at that time, who intervened? God intervened at that time, because God knew that if you can't protect a woman, then that if the earth starts existing where women can't be protected in the appropriate ways in which women should be protected, helped in the appropriate ways where women should be helped, and when men lose sight of the reason for their existence on life, the reason for men's existence is to be protectors of women and children. But when men lose sight of that, men are too much in their ego, just pursuing their egoic things, that is when God has to intervene. Otherwise, earthly life would cease to exist. And that is what happened also with the Pandavas and Kauravas in the Mahabharata. Their earthly life existence ceased to exist after the war. So not every Pandava and Kaurava survived the war, right? So whoever were fighting in both sides of the war had people who had completely lost track of what is their higher purpose of existence, what is the reason why they have been given responsibility of being married to some women or some they have responsibility of some children in their family. What is the higher purpose of the family life they were leading on earth? Or other, like if you're king, what was the higher purpose of your being a king? All these points were being lost by the people involved in the war, and the ones who were the most lost are more likely to have died than survived the war. The ones who had the least capacity, if even if they were not lost, but they had the least capacity to change and redirect their life according to what is needed to be changed and redirected for humanity to evolve into a better way of living, those men and women also would have died. And of course, some evil always exists, can still also survive, but that is because a little bit of darkness is always, and some evil meaning like some minor level evil might still persist, because every bit of evil can only be eliminated when it is the right time for that evil to be eliminated, and also when it's the right time for humanity to awaken to what is truly evil. Truly evil is not someone shouting at you for doing something negative, or someone scolding you or wanting to redirect and reform you if you were trying to do something that is evil. True evil is denying that what is evil. Like if 10 years back something was considered as a good practice, but now it is not a good practice, that is the true evil. 10 years back, if I was making this video, or 20 years back if I made this video, people would laugh at me like, oh, men and women can have good friendships and this and that. But those toxic men and women, or if you make this video in US, there might be pockets of US society where people will be like, what are you talking about? Men are so respectful towards women, men are nicer to women. Very true. There are many men in US who are very polite, very nice, and I'm talking about US only because I've lived in US. That doesn't mean I'm just talking specifically about US. I'm talking about any developed country. There are many developed country men who are polite towards women, kind towards women, soft spoken towards women, everything where on the superficial they look like the perfect people. There are many Indian boys who aren't polite, who aren't kind, or who aren't soft towards women. But how you speak to a woman doesn't determine whether you are really a gem of a human being. How you actually behave with them determines that, and why. What was the intention behind when you were behaving like that? Because there are also those men who on the outside speak nicely, don't say anything bad, and on the superficial level you will think they are the gem of a man. But again, if they are a Shakuni mama like person, Shakuni was the mama of the Kauravas, but in the guise of being their friend, he completely led to the destruction of the Kaurava clan, because his intention in the background was to destroy them. He didn't care that these were his sister's children. He didn't care to show them the light way of living, or the right way of living, or the balanced way of living, which he had the potential to show because he had that much influence in their life. But despite having that much level of influence in someone's life, he chose to use that influence to spoil them and take them in a more darker path of existence. So like that, those toxic friendships in our life, imbalanced friendships, are like the Shakuni mama who because they are your mama, you think that the mama is leading you towards light, when just because they are your elder doesn't mean they will always take you towards light. When they are your relative has as much potential to take you towards light as they have the potential to take you towards darkness. And the reason why he was able to take them towards darkness is because everyone was ready to spoil these kids. Both the Kauravas were also spoiled by their parents. Pandavas were also spoiled by their parents. The fact that Kunti, when she told Arjun to distribute his wife to 5 brothers, shows how spoiled even the Pandavas were. Because why, if your mother says distribute what you got, like while it is very fair that if you won a bag of gold and your mother tells distribute it to different amongst all of you, that makes sense. If your mother says if you got food and distribute it amongst all your brothers, again it makes sense. While materially food, water, air, possessions, all of that can be distributed, is a woman object to be distributed. A woman is not the same as food, a woman is not the same as water, a woman is not the same as some material goods that you purchased from the store, right? Again, and let's say the brother had bought a bed in which only one person or two people can sleep. Can you distribute it equitably amongst all four brothers? The only way you can, if it is a bed made of wood, you can distribute it by cutting it and chopping it into 5 pieces. But then will it be a bed, or will it become now fuel for burning a fire stove or something, right? So do you have to understand that is it a stupidity or not of the Pandavas if they don't realize, or any of them if they don't realize, that just because my mother, they had evil in their head, that that's why they were okay that they should distribute the wife. Mother said you have to distribute, so let's distribute this wife amongst each of us. So that is where, you know, how women fail to protect their own women. Just because you got a guidance to do something from someone you trust doesn't mean that necessarily that guidance is the right guidance, especially if you've lost the plot about your reason for existence on earth. Reason for man and women's existence on earth is not for each king to have 3 wives, or now they could have justified that while kings can have 3 wives, why can't one queen have 5 husbands? That is how they justified it. But that is not a realistic way to bring balance on earth. Realistic way to bring balance on earth is understanding that each man and woman has their own equal and slightly divergent purpose of existence and purpose of coexistence as a partner. That's why only polygamy is became illegal on earth. There are still pockets of society where polygamy exists, but majority of the earth discarded polygamy as a practice for a particular reason, which humans are not understanding. But now humans have to be forced to understand, when ratio of men is higher and ratio of women is lower, at that time absolutely you cannot have polygamy in major parts of the world. So this is because that creates imbalance. And this girl, when she's hanging out with these men, she might she's creating a, now because number of women are less and ratio of women are less on earth, that's why it doesn't seem very off when one girl is hanging out with a couple of group of boys. The problem though is it doesn't create a safe atmosphere for a woman, because there is no balancing feminine energy on earth. So until people realize what is the purpose of balancing feminine energy, this imbalance of more masculines existing on earth, or even masculine energy females existing on earth, is that's why happening in pockets of society where women are not realizing, or even men are not realizing, the value and purpose and reason for feminine energy's existence, and the reason for why feminine energy helps in creating balance on earth through feminine energy. I'm not talking about the toxic feminine energy. The reason why these imbalance conditions are existing, because toxic masculine and toxic feminine energy is prevalent currently on earth, which if it doesn't change leads to Mahabharata like wars. If it doesn't change is when it leads to things like pandemics and epidemics and other calamities, because each calamity that occurs is a symptom of a place that has gone in imbalance for multiple reasons, all of which are related to toxic feminine and toxic masculine behavioral patterns in living of the humans in a particular place or particular country or particular society or particular family or particular culture. I hope this made sense, and if people have any questions, please drop a comment. And I really would suggest any women who are hanging out with multiple guys, do not get into the flow of thinking they have your best interests. I have regretted it time and time again. I didn't realize I was in danger, because again I didn't get the right balancing feminine energy education in my life to realize these things when I was younger. But as I am getting older, I am realizing how much toxic masculine energy oriented men and women in my life has have created this vacuum of void of darkness in my life that I didn't even realize was a darkness I was surrounded by, until the false light related to that darkness was shed. Then because I thought there was a false light going on in my life constantly for many decades of my life, and in that false light's existence I didn't realize the level of darkness I was steeped in. And it's only when I started getting closer to God, started having near death experiences, started having experiences where if true light of love was present in any of the social equations of my life, I wouldn't have been in that near death level of existence. And that's when I finally realized the false light. I finally realized all the true evil going on around me that I didn't know was going on around me. That's how I realized the true evil I was attracting in my life, because I kept living in denial about the false light I was also portraying possibly. And so slowly now I'm in my videos also, I've been forced to be vulnerable sometimes. Like when I start crying, it's because universe wants to force me to show the true light of the painful experience I have gone through or am still going through. Because you need to cry, you need to ask for help, you need to become wiser from the toxic experiences of your life if you do not want to become a nirbhaya, abhaya, or a woman who is constantly being raped in her marriage, or a woman who is constantly being undervalued by multiple people in her work life, social life, other lives. So if you do not want to be that woman, and if you want to stay balanced as a woman and raise good kids, if that is your future goal, in order to go towards that future goal, you can't be stuck with toxic men, you can't be stuck in toxic relationships, you can't be stuck in relationships that don't balance you. Same way with a man, if you want to be a good father, if you want to be a good human, again you can't be stuck with a toxic woman or toxic partner who doesn't allow you to be your best self and who doesn't have a best self to give to you. How much ever you try that your partner or your friendship, you can have gratitude that, oh, I have this company. But if you have gratitude that you have this company, but if you can't look at your partner or your relationship in a right balanced feminine masculine energy holding way to see where it is really a balancing relationship and where it is imbalanced, then if you don't perceive the imbalance, does the imbalance go away? No, the imbalance still exists. It's just that your denial of the imbalance, your lack of perception of the imbalance, your lack of perception of the toxicity of a relationship just keeps you unawakened for a while. But eventually, when you do awaken to what is misplaced, what is wrong, what is imbalanced, you need that awakening to stir you towards understanding where it is a workable relationship you can have with a partner or a friend, and where it is not a workable relationship. If your energy is going in a panic mode, if your eyes are showing your sadness, if your energy is showing the grief of your experience with someone, if your physical health is falling apart, if your financial health is falling apart, if your multi-level complexities are arising in your life, the greater the level of complexities arising in your life, greater is your has been your unawakened self, or denial, or immaturity, or lack of capacity to understand that you were in an imbalanced relationship, imbalanced partnership, toxic partnership or family existence, toxic work life. One or multiple of these were likely going on in your life. And people are meant to awaken in this century to the things that they have done wrong in this life, in their past life, depending on where you are on soul journey on earth. Someone who is been on earth for say 10 lifetimes, that person's level of depth of understanding of this will be different from someone who has only been on earth 1 or 2 lifetimes, or this is the first lifetime they are on earth. So everyone's level of evolution and awakening will be different. But and sometimes in our quest to compete with other people, also some people do this, that while this is their first journey on earth, they don't understand this is their first life journey on earth, so they need to be the observers, they need to be the learners from the people who are who have been on multiple lives on earth, to know what is the right balance, healed way to navigate earthly life. But instead of thinking like that, some of these people who have, if you got born in a family with a lot of riches, or if you had a lot of physical power, or if you were never, you were born in a family which was supposed to awaken you to seeing what is misaligned with earthly living currently on earth, but you couldn't perceive it, even if people were trying to teach you to perceive that, all of these will lead you to lead a imbalanced life, a life of false light, a life of darkness. And when you're awakening, you have to dispel slowly the false light, you have to clear away the places where you are responsible for the darkness, you have to work on your shadow, and also realize that we are all here on a life journey on earth with multiple people. So you have to understand who is your soul tribe that you have to now coexist with, once you clear away the shadow, the darkness, and work on your inner darkness. Because your inner darkness and the outer darkness in your life, both of which are partly dependent on you, but it is also partly dependent on the company you keep. So you can't dispel the darkness in your life in and within you if you're constantly in the company of those people who are just leaning into the darkest parts of life. You want to bring light in your life. Can you bring light in your life if you're constantly chasing and being with those people who do not bring light into your life? Does that make sense? And I'm learning this, I'm realizing this. I'm also currently on that stage of life where I understand the people who do not bring me light, who are bringing me only false light, who have kept me in darkness and shadow for a long time, who, as a result of whom I have also been in darkness because of my own other selfish, self-involved, immature behaviors. I have been stuck in those darkness and false light phases. But when I'm starting to awaken, that's why if no humans are present in my life to help me, I'm relying on God, and I'm making these videos because I'm getting guided by God to make these videos. Because while I didn't have people to show me when I'm going into darkness or I'm in the false light of a relationship, if I can show via my example or via examples of the people whose videos I sometimes link here, it is because wisdom is in not simply going through a dark experience in your life, but learning also from the darkness of someone else's experience, or understanding when your level of darkness is at 10% and you're witnessing the darkness of someone which is at 90%. Please learn how not to go to the 90% of darkness and steer away into a better way of living that will take you away. That 10% darkness that you have can also be taken away slowly if you do the right self-care practices, self-respect practices, self-worth practices, and balancing and alignment and balance masculine energy practices with the people, core people of your life. Sometimes the core people in your life can change, but when they are not in a phase to change, you have to let go of those darkness filled relationships or false light based relationships, for your good as well as their good. Otherwise they will not learn the lessons they are meant to learn when they persist in a false light or darkness filled path. I hope this was insightful. If people have any questions on this topic, please drop a comment and question, or give me your own insights about these, and tell me whether I should post the link of this girl or not. I have commented on her video, which is also a double-edged sword, because now her friends, if her friends are continuing to be narcissistic, they will never look into her website. But if her friends are not narcissistic enough and they do look into it, but if they are egotistical, they might get pissed off by the comments I have posted, because again, but if the girl doesn't want to become a next Nirbhaya or Abhaya, it is important for her to have the warning. That's why I've written something on her link to warn her. Now, whether she will see my comment, whether she will appreciate it or not, is up to her. But at least if today she doesn't understand it, few years later down the line, hopefully she will understand the value of such comments. And I just want to respect her. That's why I'm not posting her a link right now. But if people want her link to be posted, let me know. Or I hope that if you see a woman like her in your own personal life, or if you are yourself that woman or man who is entrenched in this darkness, you start realizing and awakening to what is the darkness and false light in your life, what can be done by you to change it, and what you have to leave to God to change, and where you have to also surrender to your life journey of existence on earth in this century, because we all came to exist in this century filled with this level of darkness for a particular reason, and that reason will unfold for you only when you connect to God about that reason. I hope this made sense. And again, if you have any questions and comments, please drop a comment, and have a great day.